intro. Who needs an intro? Hmm. So you're saying I need one? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Fine. Hello. I'm some guy. Today, I'll be talking about some common mistakes I see Marvel Rivals players make and some tips to help fix them. The first mistake is that, well, most players don't know when they should fight. I know every DPS and tank main has the dream of taking on a 1v6 on point and saving the game. But unfortunately, that just isn't very likely, and will most likely result in you becoming staggered. Now, being staggered is when one or more players' respawn times are staggered from the rest of their teams. This leaves the team with a tough decision. Do they initiate the team fight without you at a disadvantage and hope you get there in time for it? Or do they wait for the staggered players to respawn to be able to go into the team fight with full force? Meaning your team can either take a fight they're likely to lose or end up burning more time than necessary. Both of these things are great for your enemies and really bad for you. Now what you can do to help prevent getting staggered is to keep an eye on when picks happen. Have you lost all of your healers? Might be a good time to call for your team to disengage. Are you the only one alive and you can't escape? Don't drag it out. Just run at the enemy and try to die as soon as possible. This ensures that your respawns are lined up with your teams and that you are always present for the next team fight. Now obviously, this advice does not apply in overtime. In these situations, it's better to stall as long as possible to allow your team to get there in time and fight. Some chance is better than no chance. Now, the next mistake I see players making is being toxic and flaming their team. This can demotivate your team, even if they're not the ones you're flaming, and cause them to play worse. Now, obviously, you can't prevent tilt. If you care about the game, it just makes sense that you'd get a little angry over it when things are out of your control, or you feel that things are out of your control. What you can do, though, is try to put on a positive front for your team. You may call your teammates a bunch of carried bozos who don't understand how to play the game, but don't do it in team chat. Instead, try to be positive towards them. Another thing is if you want something from another player, try framing it in a light that is more positive for them. Say you've got a Spidey and he's just complete dog water at the game. 1 in 9 and just keeps feeding over and over again. Instead of being like, Spidey, you suck, switch off the character, uninstall. Instead, say something along the lines of, hey Spidey, it seems they're playing some pretty hard counters to you right now. Might be a good idea to try a different character they aren't countering, like Bucky, Punisher, whatever you're feeling at that time. Framing it like this, even if it isn't true, makes the Spidey player feel like his failures and him doing bad isn't his fault, even if it is. It's just the enemies countering him. This makes him more likely to swap and have a positive feeling towards the match, which will make him perform better. I've personally used this phrasing dozens of times to great effect, and I don't think I've ever had anyone not switch when I've framed it like this. Now, the last mistake I want to cover today is understanding when to chase. And specifically, I'm talking about when you've won a team fight and there's one guy left. What do you do? I've seen both ends of this spectrum. Either a player has the golden opportunity to chase a kill on a low health Luna and stagger them, or a player who really shouldn't chase does, overextends on a magic and ends up staggering themselves. Obviously, this situation requires context to know when to chase. Is the opponent low? Are they playing a tough to track character like Cap, Jeff, or Rocket? Will you have any support if you chase? Is it a magic running into a small enclosed room? Understanding when to chase can be complicated, but here's a couple simple things to consider next time you see an enemy running away after a team fight. First, is what character are you playing? Are you playing a character with easy escape options like Rocket, Spidey, or Hulk? Then chasing is generally a good idea. If you're instead playing a character with more limited mobility like Atom, Moon Knight, or Groot, chasing may not be the best idea without some backup. After your character, it's important to consider what theirs is. Are they a character with good escape options like Jeff, Iron Fist, or Venom? Then it might not be the best idea to chase them. Next is to consider how recently their teammates have died. If you follow that enemy around the corner, are you going to be running into 2 or 3 people fresh out of spawn? If so, it might just be best to let them regroup with their team and group up with your own. The last and probably most important thing to consider is your team already chasing? If so, it is pretty much always worth it to connect with your team and chase the enemy as well, even if you think it's a bad idea. Why? Well, Rivals is a team game, and in team games like this, it's better to make a bad play as a team than to make a good play alone, as you could be the deciding factor in whether or not the team's bad decision to chase works out or fails, and you can help ensure you don't get staggered. Anyway, that's all the tips I've got for you all today. If you got some tips of your own, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll upload another video in, I don't know, 3 years.